Hey there, Heather K. Margolis with Channel Maven, and welcome to our Channel Maven podcast. I am so honored today to be able to introduce Rod Baptie of Baptie Company. Rod and I go way back. I would attribute a lot of Channel Maven's success to Rod, but don't tell him I said that. Rod, can you tell us a little bit, for those who don't know you, which I don't know if that person exists, but if there's somebody out there who doesn't know you, tell us a little bit about you and Baptie Company.
Well, firstly, Heather, thank you so much for having me. As you say, we've known each other for quite a while. Baptie Company's been around now for 30 years. We run the largest community of people running channels in companies with revenues of more than $500 million a year. So we're very, very specific in terms of who we address, the needs that they have. And we do that through events, webinars, content, and we're about to launch a forum for our members. And we also have two powerful groups that sit on top of that, the Channel Executive Council, which is the most powerful group of channel leaders in the industry. Not me saying that, it's universally recognized that way.
I've seen.
And Club Next, which we're really excited about, which is a group that brings together the next generation of channel leaders, because our goal there is to provide them with the knowledge and expertise they need to take on that leadership role and the challenges that means for the folks take. And Club Next, which is a really fabulous forum for people who are going to be the next channel leaders in our industry, and provides them with the skills and expertise they need to take on that role.
Love it. And I think for me and the experience that I've had with Baptie Company and the events specifically are fun. There are no partners there, right? So it's all about the attendees. It's all about the channel professionals, the channel executives, and increasing their knowledge. Even competitors are sharing information. You have Chatham House rules, which is nobody can record anything or attribute anything to the person who's speaking. For me, all of these different events are so focused on their audience. So Channel Focus is for anybody in the channel profession, to learn, to get better, to hear what's working, to hear what's not. You just launched PartnerTechX. We just had your second one. So it's been just over a year. And that's so much more focused on the tech that facilitates the channel. And then, as you said, CEC or Channel Executive Council is really, I mean, I have been to that. It's the upper echelon. Like you walk in, you're like, whoa, that's so-and-so from such and such. And then Club Next, I love being able to attend that one when I have in the past, because these are the people that are getting stuff done. Like these are the people that are rolling up their sleeves, that want to be the next channel chief, and are having really cool experiences. So thank you for bringing all of this to all of us. Tell me a little bit, because of all of the people that you talk to and have access to and the research that you as Baptie Company do, you're seeing trends in the channel that the rest of us, we learn about those trends when we come to your event. So you're seeing it ahead of time. Tell me, what have you seen in the last year or two? And then I want to talk about what you think is coming next. So what have you seen in the last couple of years?
I think the big change is the technology and the impact that's going to have on everyone else. Used to be technology moved a tiny percentage point, and I'm talking about partner technology, the technology we use to run our relationship with our partners. It moved marginally year on year. It's now moving at lightning speed. It's gone from being something where the partners go, no, I have to go on X vendor's portal. This is not going to be a pleasant experience, to the opportunity to create something very special for the partners that gives them the information that they want, when they want it, in a way that they want it. And so it's not just the AI technology, it's the experience that certain vendors are building around that technology. And what I mean by that is, it's all very well, doing what you do with ChatGPT and you type in a query and all of that. Okay, we're all doing that. But suddenly you're talking to an avatar. The avatar has humor associated with it. You're going beyond the AI and creating an experience. And that technology for many companies who have close competitors, how they implement it, how they use it, is actually going to become a differentiating factor for the partner. Because why does the partner choose a vendor? Well, number one, obviously, is the technology, but number two is not margin. It's not how many gifties you get from the vendor. It's how easy are you to do business with? And that's where the difference is going to be made, in my opinion, moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, we say that all day, every day. They come in because the technology that you're enabling them to sell is cool, is functional, it's what their customers are looking for. But if your channel program and onboarding and enablement and infrastructure are challenging for them and it's going to cost them time and money, then they'll go to the second best technology just to be able to work with the channel more easily. What are you seeing coming? Like, so, and we've actually talked a lot about AI versus agentic, where AI is, clippy with AI, right? Like, go find something that exists today, whereas agentic is learn and get better and get smarter. What do you think? What's the next thing that you're seeing coming down the pike, and how is the channel going to react to that?
If you imagine what we do today is we take a partner account manager who may be quite a good salesperson. We pop them in front of a partner, and the partner says, my product hasn't arrived. The deal reg hasn't happened. I'm waiting for this information from your service group. I'm still waiting for that quote for XYZ client. And so the partner account manager becomes a break fix merchant. What they're doing is scribbling down. They can't even give the answers. They have to go back to the office and try and figure out the answers to all these things for the customer. The next step is the partner account manager walks into the CEO of the partner, pops up a computer, an avatar comes up on the computer, and any questions that remain are answered on the spot. That means the partner account manager then has to become a much more strategically focused individual. They have to really understand how the partner makes money. They have to understand in depth how their customers use the technology and how that technology is impacting the customer's bottom line in a positive way. So it not only changes the engagement, it changes what we're looking for from our partner account manager. And the partner account managers moving forward are going to have to be much more strategic. Yes, they're still going to be building relationships, but the good old, this is all about the relationship partner manager, it's not going to work anymore. And what's going to happen as a result of that is they're going to do things like in that meeting, they're going to build a business plan. But the business plan is not going to be what it's always been. I've got a spreadsheet. I've given that same spreadsheet to 15 other vendors in the
I was
last
just
3
going to say
months.
that. Yes.
And I'm just putting some numbers in for you, and you've ticked your box, I've ticked mine, and nobody will ever look at it until next year. What they're going to do is build a proper business plan with proper actions associated with it. That will automatically happen. That will revolve up to the VP of channels, and they'll be able to see exactly what was agreed, exactly what the plan is, exactly the actions, and what's actually happened, both on the part of the partner account manager and the partner. It's a complete game changer, and it
Yes.
should make partner relationships much stronger, much more outcome based, not, hey, you've got a bunch of problems. I'm going to try and help solve them for you.
Right. You've seen Maven Edge. One of the reasons I shot out of bed at 2:00 in the morning, which apparently is the only time I get good ideas, is we were forcing partners to do things like business plans or marketing plans or executing on marketing in a way that was totally counter to how they do everything else in their life. So I always advocate for the partner when I hear somebody at a technology company say, our partners are terrible at marketing. I say, when's the last time you did one of your own implementations? Like, they're good at what they're good at. And the things they're not good at have to be so behavioral and habit forming that it's a no-brainer. So think about how they, search on Instagram. Think about how they log into their kids' school portal. Think about how they, on a day-to-day basis, are interacting with the world, and make marketing and sales flow in the exact same way. So, what's some of the feedback you're getting? Because I know you talk to both the technology companies and the partners. Do you feel like this is landing? Do you feel like the technology companies you're talking to understand that you can't force a round peg into a square hole anymore?
I think some of them do. I think what you're bringing to the table is really important because if you look at marketing, I know lots of salespeople who've created channel partner companies. I know lots of technically based people who've created a channel partner company. I can't think of a single marketing person that's created a partner company. It's not their strength. And so what you have to do is make it really easy and give them the capability to actually do it. They do understand their market. They do understand how to sell. They do understand how their customers are using the technology. What we've got to do is give them the ability to communicate that. And that's what you're providing with the tools that you've created. And that's exactly what they need. You take a major tech company, they've got hundreds of people often in the marketing department. The average partner is probably the receptionist who's actually doing the marketing, who has
Yes.
zero marketing training.
No, they're VP of marketing, the receptionist, and the significant other of the business owner.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't mean they're bad companies. It just means that they have different strengths. And so what we've got to do is provide them with the toolkit to help supplement those areas where they haven't got the strengths. And marketing is, in many cases, not all, but in many cases, that's one of them.
Agreed. I also find that the partner account manager, channel account manager, partner business manager, whatever that role is called inside a large tech company, it's it's so variable as to who you get and what their acumen is. So you might get someone who totally understands search engine optimization and conversational search and how to do digital ads, and they're helping their partners be really productive. And then you get somebody who maybe was a salesperson who is just, events and calls and, getting as many lunches as they can on their calendar. How do you think these technology companies should better enable that role? And yes, the agentic piece, and we have that covered. But how how can we better enable that role to be strategic? Because as they say, AI isn't going to replace the people who use it, it's going to replace the people who won't use it.
I think AI is going to, well, first of all, we've got to do much better training. If you look at Club next generation of channel leaders, what do they recognize as their single biggest weakness? It's finance. You can't build a relationship today with a significant partner without really understanding their business and how they make money. We have to do a much better job of training our channel account managers, of helping them understand that they are effectively business consultants, and that's their role. And their
Yes,
role is to communicate that business ability. We are now in a position where we can provide them with far more information than they've ever had before to walk into a partner really understanding what's going on. We're not far away. In fact, it could probably be done today where you could walk into a partner and go, Heather, do you realize that you have incredible strength in this vertical market in your area? And by the way, if you took on a single individual with these skills, you'd be able, with the other skills that you've got, to completely take over the cottage hospital market in your region. And by the way, I've got a list of 6 people who are looking at the moment that will fulfill that role. And I've also got 8 really strong leads from cottage hospitals looking for help. That changes the game. And so, first
So
of
much
all,
more
it's
powerful.
about providing the partner account management with the information. It's about giving them the skills they need, and they're not the skills that we've traditionally given them, giving them the financial skills, helping them understand the marketing skills, giving them an understanding of the tools we're providing them with marketing wise that are very, very easy for the partner to use. And it's mapping all those things together that will create a partner account management team that really wins.
Absolutely. And you brought up a good point, having that business acumen so that and I think it has to trickle all the way up to the head of partner marketing. When you're asking a partner, you need to do an event and we'll put in this much, you put in this much. Let's say that's $20,000 out of the partner's revenue. If they could spend $20,000 and get 5x more connections, they're going to do that. More opportunities, more leads in the funnel. So it's hard to just follow a template and say, well, this partner over on the other side of the country is doing lots of events, so that's what you should do. If if your particular partner has a better way or an easier way to get more leads into that funnel to qualify those leads more quickly, listen to that. You need to be able to look at their P&L and understand what's working and what's not. And if they don't have a good list, then they have to start with getting more names and contacts and leads into their CRM. So, to your point, yes, it is not a one size fits all at all whatsoever. You need to see where their biggest constraint is, solve for that constraint, and then move to the next one.
Absolutely. And all partners are different. And part of the problem we've had traditionally with partner marketing is we've become one size fits all. Doesn't matter whether you have zero marketing expertise or you're actually really good at it. Here's the program. That doesn't cut it today. In
Yes.
fact, in all the areas of dealing with a partner, we have to understand what their expertise is. And we have to come away from things like tiers. We have to
Yes.
look at what is a partner bringing to the table. What are the expertise they're bringing? What are the vertical markets they're able to take us into? What are their capabilities in terms of bringing AI to the customers?
Yes.
We want partners with specific capabilities, and we need to move away from tiers because we want to reward the capabilities that are going to move our business forward. And we need the flexibility to be able to do that.
Well, and also let them choose their own adventure, right? Like if you're 10% of their revenue, you you shouldn't be forcing them into all of the jumping through all these hoops and logging into your through channel marketing automation tool. If you're 40% of their revenue, then you have a little bit more strength in that and a little more bit more control over how they interact with your program. But yes, tiers don't make sense anymore. They're just going to go work with somebody who doesn't have tiers, has components that they can work through. Let's talk a little bit about just events in general. So, for anyone who's ever done an event, they are not for the faint of heart. There are so many intricate things that have to happen, and your team is a well oiled machine, obviously. How do you decide the topics that you're going to focus on at that time? You have just an insane number of speakers from all the tracks. Not that anyone's going to go do this, but why should someone come to one of your events as opposed to just one of the other large scale events out there?
When we first started, we ran an event in Europe, and it was very, very poorly run. We'd never done it before. We were learning on the fly. All sorts of things went wrong. But the one thing we did know is we had the contacts to get the right speakers with the right knowledge. And you have to do both things. You have to have great speakers with great knowledge, but you also have to run an event really well. However, of the two, The great speakers with the great knowledge, if people get that, they'll be quite forgiving and they'll come back. If you
Yes.
have a beautifully run event with poor speakers, poorly rehearsed, doing sales pitches or whatever, nobody's going to come back. And so for us, as we say to the team, there's not a magic wand. There are 1,000 I's and 1,000 T's. And if you dot those 1,000 I's and you cross those 1,000 T's, you get to a great event. We spend more time with our speakers and with everyone else than probably any other organization in the industry. And that's because we know what people are looking for. Why do we know what people are looking for? It's because we're talking to them all the time. We don't do a call for papers. Call for papers simply means that you get the same presentation that someone's delivered 3 or 4 times before.
Somewhere
We
else.
talk to the audience. We understand the topics that are really important to them. We're talking all the time to people like the Channel Executive Council. They have a track at Channel Focus with topics chosen by the absolute leaders in the industry. And we then recruit the speakers who can address those topics. And we then work with them very closely in the lead up to the event to make sure they really understand what's expected of them. They understand what the audience is looking for from the topic, and then deliver hopefully really meaningful sessions for the attendees. And that's really what an event is all about. And then you create that community
Yes.
around the event. And that's where things like Chatham House rules and other things come into play at the event, because it encourages people to be far more open than they would be at most events in the industry.
Absolutely. And I can attest to as a speaker in the past, the number of times that we met and went over my content before it actually went live, and it made it better. And you're absolutely right. It's something I wouldn't present somewhere else because it's so specific to your type of event. Now, speaking of events, we absolutely have to talk about Women's Leadership Council. So this is, for those of you who don't know, Rod and Teresa Carrigal started 15 years ago, Women's Leadership Council, which is an event that happens right before Channel Focus. It is only women. We are discussing nothing about channel specifically, all about life and work and balance that doesn't exist, and how to excel in your career and how to take that next step. Are you climbing or are you camping right now? Like, what's going on in people's lives? And it's something that I just rolled off as board chair. So Teresa handed it to me. I've just handed it to Meg Brennan. This is a different event than you see anywhere. I feel like the other women specific to channel events, they're talking at you the whole time. And this is something that your generosity and the board's generosity make sure we can keep doing this as a benefit to these women. How has this evolved in your mind, and where do you see it going?
I think the key difference is when you go to the Women's Leadership Council, you see and hear from people like you. It's not a rah, rah, rah. I became the CEO of an X trillion dollar company. It's people who are doing the things that you do. It's totally relatable. It's also um, extraordinarily open. You yourself have spoken and talked about some of the personal challenges that you've had in your career and in your life. And it's that incredible openness and willingness to share, willingness to help one another that makes the Women's Leadership Council very, very special. And it's people that actually know it because they're in it today. They're doing it and they're facing exactly the same challenges you are, and they're prepared to share their thoughts on those challenges, on those opportunities. So it becomes extraordinarily real.
Yes.
It's not, hey, I'm not sure if I can ever run a $5 billion a year company. It's, I'm doing the same thing that
Yeah.
Jenny is doing day to day. And I'm facing the same challenges she is. And I love what she's got to say about how she's dealt with those. And that's the strength of the Women's Leadership Council.
Yes, I agree. It's funny to have, I have a persona on LinkedIn and people see me on LinkedIn and I am confident and I am powerful and I have done hard things. And I'm also a disaster sometimes. And I'm also running around after my kids and like trying to coordinate things for my mother who just had hip surgery. So it's like all of the, once someone realizes that this person, this persona that they see on LinkedIn is also like, excuse my French, it's my podcast, I can say it, in the shit, then it just becomes so much more relatable and real. And I've had so many people say to me, I'm glad it's the size that it's very exclusive. We cut off the numbers at a certain point. So that's my little infomercial for Women's Leadership Council. But the last question I have, and we ask this of all of our guests, what's something someone would not know about Rod Baptie?
I own 10 motorcycles and I've never learned to drive a car. Two
That's one of my
tests are
favorites.
completely separate in the UK.
Yes. That's one of my favorite, and you leave one in the US, right? You have a motorcycle here
I
that
have
you
no longer got an apartment in the US, but I have got a motorcycle in a storage unit because it's actually cheaper to own one and ride it for the 10 weeks a year when I'm in the US than it is to hire them. They are extraordinarily expensive to hire in the US.
Yes. Rod, thank you so much, not just for this, but also everything you've done for me and for everyone in the channel. I'm sure anyone who's ever looked for a job in the channel ever has spoken to you at some point. So thanks so much for the generosity, and we'll see you at the next event.
Heather, thank you so much. And thank you for all the time and effort you put into the Women's Leadership Council. You helped move it forward, which is brilliant. And I know you're very proud and absolutely should
I
be
am.
of the work that was
Thank
done
you.
there. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you soon.